Whether it's Nick Joseph, who was high on cocaine and crashed into a pregnant mother that was stranded on the side of the road, whether it's corruption, whether it's the officer from Arundecoit Police Department, Arundecoit, New York, who was cyber stalking, his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend. What do you say? I mean, honestly, you sound like a good dude, like you're out here doing your job. I understand that that's how you look at it. We may disagree about the details of the job, such as the ticket. I mean, but regardless, that doesn't take away the fact that you've always shown me respect. You don't seem, like I said, and I'll say it, like an asshole cop, and I've dealt with a lot of asshole cops in the Rochester, New York Police Department. But what is your thought of that? What is your thought that the profession that you chose and that you are a member of has individuals who really got into it either for the wrong reasons or turned dirty after they got in there, or just overall, simply put, make your job harder? Because let's not lie about it. There's no way that the stuff that some people see, I say some because some I think don't want to see it, that certain officers do, whether it's Rochester or whether it's Idaho, affects anyone that dons a law enforcement uniform.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on that?
Let's broaden the spectrum. Let's say all professions. Look at the doctors that abuse their problems. Look at the lawyers. Look at the people working at McDonald's, Burger King, Tim Hortons, all that stuff. Of course there's bad people in every profession. Of course. Look at the bad people we have in society. So to say police and what do I think, my opinion is the same as all. There's always going to be bad apples in each group. To each his own. It doesn't affect my way of life. You know what I mean? What they want to do is on them. What I do is on me, and I have to live with that, and I have to wear this uniform, and I have to go home and face my wife and kids every day, as well as the citizens. So I do my job with integrity and honesty every day. So I can't answer for them, but we could say everybody. No one's perfect in this society. No one's perfect in this world. And no one's perfect on this job. Certainly because you put the uniform on doesn't make you any bigger of a man or any more of a man or woman than anyone else in the world.
But here's my thing, Mitchell, and you're going to laugh probably, but I could have basically, I knew pretty much the answer that you were most likely to give, and I'm not saying it's a bad answer, but here's the thing. Just to challenge you a little bit.
Activists are jerks. What if people say
there are a lot of activists, and I'll say it right now, there are a lot of activists, cop watch, who are assholes, who are hypocrites. Trust me, man. Listen, and I don't mean it bad. You know me, but you don't know me, because if you knew me, you would understand that the very same people who claim to denounce abuse, many of them are hypocrites. And I've called them out, and I love that you segued that, so I could segue into that, because otherwise I wouldn't have brought that up at this point in this video. But I love it because there's absolutely trash who pass themselves off to be, savers or whatever, you know what I mean, or advocates, and they're hypocrites. And I've always said that. And I've called them out from Miami to the West Coast. And they know who they are, And you could Google it, always. But here's the thing. With that answer you gave me, here's the only thing I got to say to that. A doctor, a lawyer, a teacher. I don't know if you said teacher, but I'm throwing teacher in there. I know you said doctor and lawyer. It could be a baker. It could be the guy that cuts your cold cuts at Wegmans. The difference that separates them from you guys is as follows. It's real simple. They are not entrusted with the power to limit or take away your freedom. Obviously, for limit, I mean, we've all seen how you guys detain, whether it's justifiable or not, but you know what I mean, probable cause, which obviously you need, but we won't get into the specific, but that's what I mean by detain, just so you see where I'm going. Or the power to arrest, or the power...
Every citizen has the power to arrest.
Well, we've all heard of citizens arrest, but let's be honest. What I'm talking about is, I don't want to get stuck on that, but what I'm talking about is... I know. But a citizen can't charge somebody, and you're not going to like this. A citizen can't, well, citizens can. I was going to say a citizen can't beat the shit out of somebody. But you know what I mean. My point is this, not to get off track. My point is that I understand your point. There is bad and good in everybody. And that's the kind of thing, the response you gave me is the kind of response that people used to put in the word, there's a few bad apples. See, I like that you didn't put that, because maybe you deep down know it's more than a few bad apples. And my main thing with that, Mitchell, is that, again, it's the type of job, whether it's the psychological evals or whatever, which we won't get into that, but I've heard that people could lie their way through them or whatever. There needs to be better screening. I sit here with you now, bro. I sit here in front of you right now, next to you. And I don't know if some people will understand this or not. Other than the fact that we're on different sides, you know, as far as what we're passionate about, or, you know, we're going to agree to disagree. I'm not in fear right now, bro. I'm not in fear. And this is one of the deepest things I've ever told a cop. I don't feel in fear right now talking to you. I get a good sense from you. Some people maybe will laugh and say, oh, you're being naive, Davey. What's going on? You've been doing this 20, you know, you're slipping. But I don't. But I've stood in front of officers, and I've called officers out, and I've held my camera in front of officers, again, exercising my First Amendment protected right to record as an American. Which, by the way, people on YouTube say the nastiest things to me on social media.
Yeah.
Go back to Cuba, you spick, you know. I was born right here, man. I was born up the street, literally, at Strong. This is my hometown, actually. Not that I love it, but it's my hometown. It's where I'm at, you know. And the thing, without getting long-winded here, the thing is, I have felt in fear, man. I've seen officers on your force, Mitchell. I would tell you this with the camera on or off, bro, that I didn't get any good sense from, man. It's just something you could read somebody genuine in their eye. You could see what they've been through, man, if you're just looking at them. You know what I mean? Yep. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. I felt really, you know, I felt a certain way, man, and I'll leave it at that, in fear with some officers that I've actually come in contact with. I don't feel that with you. But you got to understand what I'm saying, that the job that you guys have a lot of power, and that's where the issue is. The power that is given to you, you know, is such that any of these few bad apples, which I'm using the old saying here, it can't be allowed. It can't be permitted. I don't know what it's gonna be. You know, I'm gonna say something, and I don't mean this, you know, I don't mean this in a bad way, so don't take it like that. But something I'm doing with the channel, we're almost at 5,000 subscribers. And by the way, I'm kind of new to YouTube. I mean, my work is everywhere, and I've done stuff for years, but I've never really dedicated myself to the YouTube channel like I'm dedicating myself recently. But there's a certain history of people go back in policing, such as people don't realize surgeons came from barbers. I know this sounds kind of crazy.
That's why they got the red and white.
That's why they got, exactly.
Spinny thing.
So things have evolved. And I try to teach my kids this a lot, because, quick story, my son found a pager the other day. And I told them that in the 90s when I met their mom, she would page me and I would call her. Well, how would you call her without a cell phone? Because they all got the latest phones, right? And they get so stuck on technology that they don't understand that just 20 years ago, I didn't have a phone. I had a pager. His mom would call me. I would have to look for a payphone. When I said payphone, they'd look at me like, payphone? They had never seen one. Yeah. I found one in Henrietta, and I made a throwback video like, wow, a Frontier payphone. My point is that things have evolved, and policing needs to, and it will evolve.